I'll say it again, your goal is a moving target. Sometimes shit changes, but don't always use that as a getaway
that's
response.
The date should probably be the last thing that's changed on all of the details having to do with your end goal.
All right, welcome everyone to the Dig Deep podcast. I am your host, Michael.
And I am co-host.
Or also
host.
Yeah.
Sage.
Yep, and we are here today to talk about a very important thing that we are constantly thinking about and constantly kind of changing just because our goal is kind of a moving target, at least on my perspective and the way I think, which is pursuing what is meaningful in our lives or what is motivating us most to produce the amount of drive and effort that we're putting into this endeavor of whatever endeavor that we're doing. So I'll kick it off, I guess, with what would be pursuing what is meaningful for me. And like I said, it's always moving, it's always changing, it's never stagnant. So at the moment, currently, it's just a willingness or drive to get to the goal that I want to achieve, which is, it may sound pretty simple to, when I'm explaining it to the viewers, but it's a constant battle that I'm constantly doing within my own self every morning. Like, to remember and to remind myself that I'm pursuing something greater than what is currently, within my own right at the moment, So in this case, a little snippet of my mission statement is I want to live aboard a sailboat, and I want to live that lifestyle for a majority of my time. I'll have this house, I'll have this home, but at the same time, I want to be able to sail and enjoy my life traveling and being around people that positively love me and influence me. So I have that why, I have that goal, I have that thing that I'm constantly pursuing that motivates me.
Yeah.
And that is a strong enough goal for me. Now, granted, I just gave you kind of a little snippet, but it goes much more deep than just that. But
that's a heavy motivator for you then.
Yeah, very, very much a motivator for me to continue to do what I'm doing. Also, I love doing what I'm already doing. Mm-hmm. So those two things coupled together, something that I really want to do in the future, that I really am striving and driven to do, along with doing something that I already enjoy doing now. It kind
Power
of
combo, dude.
Yeah, it's a good equation to have to get that good solution that people, in this case me, is looking for. So.
Yeah, I guess it would be safe to say you definitely found your niche. You found what you like, what you're good at, and what's going to get you to where you want to be. And that's awesome.
Hopefully I'm good at it. I mean,
it's gonna. None of the hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. You're right.
Failure is not an option. We know that.
Yep.
Not trying is, though.
Yep.
Well, I mean, didn't mean to cut you off or anything, but I guess, dude, my side of things, as you know, I talk to you about this a lot. It's a little
Tell me what you're thinking, dude.
It's a little bit more vague than what you have yours painted out crystal clear. And I'm not using this as an excuse, but this is the only way I can rationalize it and how I kind of feel. Up until 3 years ago when I started my business, I thought my life was going to go a completely different way with everything having to do with it. And 3 years ago, I made the jump to go on my own. Mm-hmm. And everything has changed. My personality has changed. My demeanor, my willingness to work on myself. Like, I just want to improve everything now. And with all that change came a change of where I want to aim my life at, who I'm around. Obviously, all the things we've talked about in other episodes have had an effect on me and what I thought I wanted my life to be like. I'm still personally kind of figuring out exactly what I want my picture to be, and I still have my mission statement sheet that you gave me to fill out. I still didn't do it. I'm slacking, I know, but I'm still trying to just really figure out that whatever I do write down isn't just for a bullshit answer. Because the effort that I'm putting in, the effort that you put in, the effort that our viewers put into their lives, they don't want it to be for something that they're fully not about, because you're just not working for something that's meaningful to you then. And I mean, there's probably things I could write down that'd be like, oh well, I want that cool classic car that we want to show up to a restaurant with our fucking ladies and throw the valet the keys and be like, yeah, take that big block son of a bitch around back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, just
it's deeper than that for you.
It is deeper than that. I'm a very literal person. So like if I'm writing it, that's what I'm working for. Like I'm not good with the black and white, the vague. Oh, well, yeah, I want to have a nice car and a nice house. Like when I write that thing on paper, like that's my goal. That's my definite.
Yeah,
and I know it can change and it can adjust a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd at least like to be semi-accurate.
Yeah. Write something down for sure, dude. Like you know what you want, generally speaking.
Yeah, I'm just horrible at putting my own wants on in a definite sentence, I guess you could say. I fucking struggle with
just
that.
know that you're not committing your whole fucking life to this one sentence that you're writing down. It's just a general idea of what you want, general questions. And for anyone that's listening, the questions that I got was on a book called First Things First by Stephen Covey. And he talks about writing your mission statement. And then he talks about these certain questions that I just wrote down and I sent you.
Yes. Which
evoke the best response, at least in my life. So like just randomly, one of the questions was reaffirm the feelings you want to have in your life. So things that like the feelings that you want to have. So like peace, confidence, meaning, happiness, maybe excitement. You know, some people just want to be fucking relaxed and chill and not have to have any more stress. You know, one of my favorites. Think about how you would like to spend the coming week if you knew you only had 6 months to live, you know? And those evoke the most genuine responses that you may have, you know?
Yeah, if you actually ask yourself those questions.
Dude, if you had 6 months to fucking live, what? All right, on some real shit, dude. If you had 6 months to live, what would you be doing? Let's say if money wasn't an option, Sage fucking won the lottery, and you had 6 months to live. We can cut this shit out if you want to think about it. I don't even give a shit, dude.
At that point, if I got, and this is immediately where my mind went. At that point, if I found out you have 6 months to live,
guaranteed,
I have no reason to do anything but try and improve everybody else's life that is around me. Spend as much time with my family and stuff as I could. I would never, like, if this was just, Sage, you're fucking dead in 6 months, just letting you know.
Yeah.
Then I would just keep it to myself, try and be as cool as I could, and just try and do all the things that I feel like I'm lacking in now in life when it comes to spending as much time as... I try to do my best with spending my time with my parents. You know what I mean? We have businesses to run and stuff like that, and I see them weekly. It's not like they're going months without seeing me or anything, but like, fuck the business. Gonna be spending time with them. Gonna be trying to take Sam to do whatever it was that she wanted to do that we didn't get to do yet. What is that? Dude, at 6 months, you're already like, why the fuck would you want to do something that is just gonna be a selfish thing at that point?
Interesting.
Is 6 months of, if you look at it, I guess if the way I'm looking at it is, equate it to a drug.
Okay.
Anything you do that involves a drug it's a time capsule of that feeling. But like, if you do something that affects somebody besides, because realistically, if you have 6 months to live, like, oh, I want to fucking drive my car down the Malibu coast or whatever the
fucking Route 1 going down the coast,
fucking go down Route 420 or 70, whatever one is through
422.
Yeah, dude, I want to go right down Lebanon City, man. No, but like, I want to do that, and I want to fucking go skydiving. I want to do all this shit. Like, you're gonna be like, wow, I did all this cool stuff, and you're still gonna see all these people that are around you on your fucking deathbed. and you're just going to be like, I spent all that time focusing on me and dumb fucking things I wanted to do throughout my life.
Okay. Yeah. So like, let me ask you another question. So you want to be with your family. You'd want to hang out with your family, be with the people that you love and the people that love you as much as you can during those last 6 months. What would you be doing during that time? Money wasn't an issue.
If money wasn't an issue, I'd be trying to ask everybody what they wanted to do. Dude, basically, I guess this would equate to the things I would do would be what that guy would be scared of facing when he got to where he went. Like how we were talking in the other episode about the last thing you want to do is meet the person you could have been when you go to heaven or whatever your place is.
Seeing that reflection of the perfect you.
Seeing the thing you could have done with the time that you had and didn't do it because of selfish reasons or something like that. I'd be so fucking worried about pleasing that voice in my head that I could be at peace when I died. Because death doesn't scare me, but dying with regrets or guilt does.
Yeah, dude, that's the same thing I feel. You know, the people that you're around, dude, they're all temporary.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's like you want to make the time that you have with the people that you really admire and like to be around as meaningful as possible.
Yeah.
So to know that if you end up dying prematurely, let's say you get hit by a fucking car, you know, God forbid, right? You want to know that you at least spent the time with the people that you love as much as you could, you know?
Yeah.
And you tried as much as you can to be, you know, at your parents' house, even though you fucking are not doing much at your parents' house, but you're with them, you know, and that makes them happy. And that in turn makes you happy. I feel the same way, you know? So that's like, dude, and those are the questions that evoke the best mission statement, you know?
Yeah.
Because then you start thinking about shit differently. You're like, fuck, man, maybe I don't want to fucking ride a pit bull. I can live in a fucking, you know, maybe I want to be with people that I love, and maybe I just want to do that. Like, how do I do that then? And then the rest of those questions evoke those process, you know, that process even more. So that's why I always push you to write one, because it's difficult. And I'm going to say this is very important. It's difficult to find a goal if you don't have anything to drive towards.
Yeah, you gotta have parameters.
You can't just be like, I want to fucking make a lot of money. I want to make sure my business is successful. But like, fucking for what, dude? You know what I mean? What is the goal? What do you want to do? Why do you want to do it? You know? And that's kind of the purpose of this podcast. You know, it's like, and the purpose of this episode, it's like, pursue your life and pursue something that's meaningful. Find a vehicle that gets you there, but the fucking work, whatever that is secondary to like what you actually want. You know what I mean? Like, you're just good at fucking manual labor and digging shit and fucking like laying pipe, and that's going to be your vehicle to get from fucking doing that to doing the shit that you want to do. No one wants to fucking dig holes the rest of their life, dude. They want to do shit that is fulfilling in their life, you know?
I would be okay if I didn't have to pour another fucking sidewalk or pour another pad or whatever. I mean, using the machines and digging, like if I was just digging holes and stuff, I could do that in a machine. But the manual labor, the concrete, I don't need them. The concrete's just, dude, you're an idiot if you're not, if you have the physical ability to not be doing concrete work on the side and like get good at that craft, you're missing out on a lot of money. If you can do with one or two guys, you're set. But it is taxing on your body. Very taxing.
Definitely.
Be ready to fucking work.
Yeah, dude. It's and obviously you want to pick a vehicle that you could do long term, something that you actually genuinely like. So that's something that the viewers could hold on to as well.
You can do that in phases too.
Okay, tell me about that. What do you mean?
Okay, so like I kind of have my plan based in phases. I know I don't have my fucking crystal clear picture yet, but I know the steps I need to take to get to the vague picture that I have. I roughly know, dude, like to just jump off topic, I want a house that's suitable for me, my business, on at least 3 to 4 acres of land. Specifically somewhere that isn't too far from the city and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to be at 40 minutes from the fucking grocery store and stuff. But I want to have a good property for my family. Sam loves animals. I want to have an area for her to have chickens and goats and all the other homestead shit she wants to do.
That's awesome.
And I want to have a fun fucking car to play with because I've got rid of my 240. You know, that was the start of everything. I had that 1,000 horsepower 240 that I was building. We had our mushroom trip. I changed my ways, and that was listed the next week. And since then, I have not let myself buy anything fun.
Incredible.
And it's been hard. It's very, very hard.
You're welcome.
Yeah, dude, that was an experience. That was that was the best thing that we could have done. Thank God that you can grow mushrooms legally, I guess.
Yeah.
But
hypothetically,
hypothetically, we studied them. But no, yeah, just a nice car, dude, and room for me to just do what I want. Like realistically, if I could just have my own little fucking domicile and like camp, whatever you would want to call it, fortress, just tucked away. I could go out. I could shoot a gun if I wanted. I could go out and not have to worry about my kids being like pested by the neighbors and shit. I've had enough of that through my life. I want to set my family up to be in a good spot, and then I want my few amenities. You know what I mean? I want my nice car to play with. I want my few toys, my off-road things, and as long as I'm making them happy, that's probably my mission statement that I just didn't write on paper.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to start, you know, and like I said, as you get older, your successes and your goal is a moving target. So what you think now may change in a year or two.
Yeah.
And it's good that you have a general idea, but it's also even better to get very specific, you know, like when do I want to get this house? How much do I want to spend on this house? What is the exact date that I want to purchase this house?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I guess those are definites I still don't have ironed out.
And that's difficult to do, honestly, because it's...
The prices of housing is all that shit is a moving target too. So like, I know you do yours, you do yours like yearly, right? You review all your mission statements and just you go over your financial reports and everything yearly just to see how you're progressing,
financial
right?
reports I do on a quarterly basis.
Oh, okay.
I look at all the properties, how much they value, how much the rents are, market value. I look at all those things on a quarterly basis. I'm constantly measuring, because if you're not measuring, you're not able to dictate where you're going to be at within the next quarter, the next year. You have to figure out a way of measuring it. You know, if you're not measuring it, you're not going to get anywhere quickly. You might get somewhere, but you're not going to know how fast you're getting there. You're not going to have any control. You're just going to know that you're growing. And that's a scary thing. You want to make sure that you have full reign on exactly where you're going and how fast you're going, and how does that correlate to what you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. So, you know, but I like the way you were saying it, you know, before you were saying, if you had 6 months to live, you'd just be with your family. And that's kind of like, that's really the main core goal that we're trying to get to. It's like, what deep in your soul, deep in what you want as a human being, what do you want, you know? Yeah. And granted, having a nice car, having a nice house is nice, and those are things that you're probably going to have, but really, what is like the base of, like, what is really the driver in your life that you really want to get to? And those questions really push it, you know? And then it starts to make you think, like, fuck, man, like, I don't even know if I even, like, you start really second guessing yourself.
Oh yeah, dude. Like that.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of men, I'm sure there's not only going to be men watching this, but I feel like a lot of men have a pressure on them to a point, and it may not even be real pressure, but I feel it. I don't know if it's what I put on myself or what, but like, we produce, like we have to produce results. Otherwise, I feel like our meaning is minimal then. You know what I mean? We have to be supplying a certain life, or we have to be supplying a certain amount of money, or we're the ones that make it happen. I mean, I know that's not the case with every relationship. There's women out there that heavily outweigh men in certain situations, and roles are adjusted accordingly. You know what I mean? Which I
don't really necessarily agree with, honestly, dude. As shitty as that sounds, and I know it's going to be a little bit confrontational, but I feel like a man should take care of a woman, dude.
Oh yeah, I thought you went somewhere else with that, but yes, no, 110%.
Sometimes the women do. Sometimes the women, you know, they fucking make a shit ton of money, and it's hard to compare yourself. But I just feel like a man should be able to take care and maybe do things in a different way that are still being a provider in a sense, you know.
Yeah, I still feel like if my significant other made a very comfortable amount of money, I would still have to be like, I'm making my own shit. Like,
gotta
don't pay.
protect you at least.
Yeah, let me
like,
pay for dinner at least. Like,
yeah,
put the fucking wallet away. Like,
yeah. There's a pride in that I think I have, and I ask that question to a lot of people that I work with at my job.
yeah,
In case anyone is questioning that, I still work a 9 to 5 until I get a specific amount of income, and then I'll eventually quit my job. But I'll ask people those questions. I like to ask like really intrinsic, deep questions to like fucking technicians, and they're like, "What?" And they just fucking, "What do you say?" But yeah, I'll ask them. I'll be like, hey, if your wife was the breadwinner, she made all the money, and she wanted you to be a stay-at-home dad, would you do it? And they're like, "Fuck yeah, I do it." And I'm like, I don't like that, dude. I'd rather stay home and have her make all the money. It's like, I guess, but at the same time, it's like,
you're not gonna like that dynamic change in the household, dude.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you,
Just
some
start
people
calling
make it
him
work.
bitch from there on out.
Some people make it work, and some people are happy, and it's just not me, dude. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah,
It's
and
just not me.
I feel like they automatically inherit a different title. Then they're no longer husband.
Yeah, dude. It's just.
I'm not trying to be a dick. Like if it works out, it works out for somebody. But I guess that's a pride I can't swallow. Like if I failed as a man in my idea of what a man should be, and now I'm the sub to like, yes, honey, yes, okay, dear.
She comes home from work and she takes off her jacket and it's raining outside. She's like, "Do you make dinner?" It's like, I worked all day. Like, what did you do? You had to fucking take care of the cats and shit. You know what I mean? Are you gonna do something? Or did you make dinner? And you're like, "Oh no, I haven't made it yet. I didn't want to ask you." It's like, I don't like that. I don't like that, dude. It's just me. I don't like it. But getting off the topic,
Yeah. Dude,
well,
I never even finished my thought about the way I'm doing it.
Okay, yeah. let me hear
I'll
it,
just
dude.
quick fill that in case I left anybody on a cliffhanger. I'm killing myself now, doing as much hard physical manual labor to make me the most amount of profit as possible with the least amount of people to pay. May not be the best way, may not be the perfect way, but I know what I can handle with who, and lean, mean, that's all there is to it at the moment. I'm feeling the use of my body at 28 already, and what I put it through. So I know my timer is, it's showing. Like I can feel my timer like, hey dude, you might not have another 28 years to do this. So I'm doing the hard shit now as long as I can, and then my next step is going to be breaking off from the concrete stuff or getting a crew, start doing that really hard shit, and then maybe I'll just be in a machine for a little bit, and then eventually either sell the business, have it with employees. We'll have to see how things go, because the quality of people right now is very hard to sift through winners and find them. They're already probably taken. But then from there, obviously accruing as much as I can. I'm going to be buying real estate, and I want to start getting into that. Once I have enough that I can do like a job or two a month and be completely fine, that's when I'm going to definitely like drop back. My main goal is going to be spending time with my family. All that shit is going to be a priority. If my kid has a doctor's appointment, I want to be there with Sam at the appointment with them.
Yeah, definitely.
I came from parents that were separated since I have memories. You know what I mean? 2 years old, they were divorced. It was always a weird thing, like, oh, your dad's gonna take you this time, or your mom's gonna take you, and seeing the conflict between the both of them trying to organize shit with me, because neither of them were both available.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things like that, I just want to make sure that I am set up for, and I can do once I get to that point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, that's a good point that you're making, and it's really to cliff note that.
Yeah.
It's really to be able to have the time to do the things that are most important in your life, not having to be dictated off of your work schedule, but being dictated off your personal schedule. Like,
Yeah.
I could work when I'm fucking done doing this, this, and this.
Yes.
These personal things are more important than this, and I don't have to do that because I make enough money doing X, Y, and Z. These other streams of income are providing that for me, so I can really do what's most important in my life. And for most people with the human capacity to do things personally, that's what I think they should be doing, you know? And how do we get there? You know, how do we get there? How do we get there quickly? Putting time, dude. The most difficult thing that I have is putting time frames on pursuing what's meaningful and setting time frames for it. Because in a lot of these books that I read, they say put a time frame to the day. You know, so it's like, you know, fucking January 28th, 2026. It's like, I'm gonna be able to do this. And then you have to go and work backwards from there, you know? And that's a difficult thing to do because you're really, you know how we talk about sometimes, like, when we say we're going to be somewhere, like, hey, meet up at this spot at 7 a.m. or some shit. There's an integrity involved in that where you're like, if you're not going to make it, fucking tell me. And if you're going to be a little bit late, tell me.
Yeah, just communicate, be respectful.
Yeah.
Courtesy.
You get that same sense when you do it to yourself, when you set a date for a specific goal.
Yeah.
So when you set that date, it's an integrity thing where you're like, I gotta fucking do this now, because if I don't, then I'm lying to myself, and then I'm not gonna have any self-worth within myself, and I'm gonna start, you know, taking liberties, and I'm just not gonna be the best person I could possibly be. So it's scary to put dates on things.
Yeah.
But I'll say it again, dude, your goal is a moving target. Sometimes shit changes, you know, but don't always use that as a getaway.
Yeah, that's
response.
The date should probably be the last thing that's changed on all of the details having to do with your end goal.
Mm-hmm.
As much as you can help it.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do one more question, shall we?
All right, yeah, I like that.
Okay, here we go. These are very, like, personal things, so maybe I'll figure out some things that are... Yeah, these are all personal. So let's say this one's the last non-personal thing, but let's say think about any contributions that you would like to make. Contributions, dude. Any contributions that you would like to make. So what does that mean? Like, it doesn't have to be monetary.
Yeah.
What do you want to contribute? What are some contributions that you want to make in your life? What is something that you want to do? So what I have written here on mine: mentor 1 to 2 people with real estate and financial freedom, and have those people actually pursue it. So, like, that's my contribution. I want to be able to mentor someone through the successes that I have, and be able to give that knowledge and give that ability for them to be financially free to at least 1 to 2 people, and actually be a success story. So, like, I could obviously mentor a bunch of people. A lot of them may fail, but at least 1 to 2.
Yeah.
Which is probably low, but I hope it's more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, time would tell on that one. Dude, I got to think about that. What would I want to contribute?
Any contributions that you would like to make? Like, what are some things that you want to contribute? You know, it's like, you could be like, hey, I want to contribute this much to my favorite charity, you know, but...
Yeah, I'm trying to be honest.
You know, it's a difficult thing.
That is a difficult one. I can't even think that I've really thought about that. I guess my contribution would be to just give my family the best. Like, it all kind of comes back to that, but I know that's not really like individualized, like, oh, I want to do this with my life.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't. I'd be lying if I just bullshitted something right now that I had an actual feeling to contribute.
Yeah. Another thing that I want to contribute is, you know, my parents aren't the most financially stable people. You know, they immigrated here from Sicily. They know English, but they're not 100% fluid. Like, if someone goes to a doctor's appointment, they would recommend that I be there so I could help translate. So, like, I want to contribute to them and also giving them an easy life. because they've given me with their limited resources, given me everything that I needed. I want to be able, I could give, to give them what they need and contribute.
Oh, is that would that fall into the? I see, when you were saying contribute, I was thinking like you said, donate to a charity or open up a fucking park or have like a memorial hall or something like that. Like,
yeah, no, I would say, mentor 1 to 2 people and contribute, to my parents and giving them a stable life without having to worry about finances, so that may be another contribution. I guess you could say that's a contribution.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's a lot of questions that most people don't think about, and it really works the brain out and kind of like twists the brain in a way where you really have to think, and it may stump you. A lot of those questions are personal, so it's like you really have to like sit there in a quiet place and just be like, fuck, dude, I gotta think about this shit. And then you gotta like really think about it. And you may not have all the answers of all the questions in one sitting. You may have to like answer 2 or 3, and then you may be like, I gotta think about this fourth one in a day or so,
Yeah.
Sit down, think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you catch me off guard with some of those deep questions. Like sometimes right when we start hanging out and I'm like, I can fucking shift my mind here. I don't know, dude. Hang on.
Yeah. Let me think. Well, let me just put my stuff down.
Yeah, I have tools in my hand. Like, calm down.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, that is the mindset change. The change of perspective is definitely a good thing to kind of do for yourself regularly.
Yeah. And to many people, the things that are meaningful could all vary, dude. So like, some things that people can find meaningful is like, hey, I want to be able to have this much money. This is meaningful to me. It's meaningful to me to have a house. And sometimes their goals and aspirations may not be as high or as well planned and thought out as others. But the whole thing is you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
And that's the most important part. You're constantly thinking about it. Even write that shit down on a fucking Post-it note, put that shit in your wallet, read it every once in a while. Remind yourself that you're doing it, that this is what you're doing. Align all your actions with what you're doing to get to that goal, because that's what you fucking want. You know what I mean? And don't just wander aimlessly through life, being a ship without a crew, just coasting down the Atlantic Ocean. You'll never fucking get to the point that you want to get to. You know what I mean? Make sure that you have all your ducks in a row and figure out really what you want to do and what's meaningful, and pursue that, diligently. Pursue that strongly, because that is important, dude. If there's anything in your fucking life that's important, that's probably one of the most important things. You know what I mean? Some people do. Like, I ask those questions. The good thing about having a normal job is you ask those questions to normal people, and those normal people they have normal answers.
Yeah.
And then that makes me not like them. Then I go, oh, okay, yeah.
Yep, want to have my man cave and my fucking cornhole boards and
or like they're like, I don't know, I just want to be able to hang out, and I'm like, oh gosh, dude, hang out? Like, what do you mean? And like, I don't know. They never thought about it, which is okay, but at the same time, you want to be the person that thinks about that stuff.
Yeah. So, dude, people are just I feel like as long as they're comfortable, comfortability and contentness are like that. They're fucking hand in hand. If you're comfortable, you're gonna get content. You're gonna stay in the safe bubble. Yeah, dude. And when you talk to those people and they're like, I'm happy the way I am right now, it pisses me off so much, Sage. I'll tell you what. I'm like, well, what? I'm like, oh, do you rent? And they're like, yeah, I rent. I pay this much a month. And, hey, I get just enough to skim by. I'm like, is there anything else you want? And they're like, no, I'm pretty happy. I play my video games when I get home. We're having a baby. And I'm like, and then, we're happy. And I just want to fucking strangle them, dude. You know what I mean? But I can't, because that's their life and that's the way they want to do it. But there is other avenues to get to the point that you want to get to in your life and be happy. And it's sometimes what you think is happiness for you is just the government and life putting you in a Oh, dude, you're pre-programmed. Everybody's pre-programmed, unless you go to like a fucking private school or something like that.
Yeah.
From the time you can walk and be in society, you're programmed.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about, but like, yeah. The amount of shit I wish they would have taught me in school that has to do with my life compared to the amount of dumb shit I learned while I was in school that I've never even heard since I left that grade is so unfairly weighed, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
I think the closest to finances I got in high school was when they taught me how to balance a fucking balance a checkbook in food class. I forget what the hell the name of it technically was, but
Yeah.
or no, that was life skills or something like that.
There was an elective.
Yes.
Which makes it even worse because you have to elect for it. You know, like, yeah, do I want to fucking know about finance? That should be a fucking like core class, dude. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was the same situation as the way I was in. You know, like same thing. You know, I picked that class and I like that, dude. I fucking like finances. You know, I like having a budget. I like to figure out how much money I'm saving each month, how I could use that to buy more rentals and so on and so forth. How I could do a 1031 and use that. Like, I like that shit, dude, because it's nonchalantly me fucking the government, dude. And I like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fucking figuring it out, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this government's not going to make me fucking...
I'm not your bitch, bitch.
Exactly. I'm not going to just be... you know, belly up and let you tell me what I have to do. I could fucking figure it out, and I like that shit, dude. I like to know that so I could utilize it to get to what I want to do. You know, so I think that's super important. But, you know, it's just having that drive and having that willingness to want to do that. And if you're not, then, you know, you're not, dude. And it's fucking whatever, you know, it's fine. You know?
Yeah. I'm slowly starting to overcome my hatred for math. Being a business owner,
yeah,
there's no getting away from math.
Yeah, you gotta love that shit, dude.
Yeah, I still don't love it, but I'm revisiting a whole bunch of shit from like, dude. The worst thing is trying to figure out measurements for uneven shapes. Dude, all the shit I just copied off of my cousin's math tests in geometry. When I got to figure out, like, okay, I got a fucking pad here that's 11 foot, 21 foot, 10 and 8 foot. How to get an accurate measurement, you know what I mean? I could probably round it off and, like, get close and stuff like that. But I like to be as close as I can with my calculations. And, dude, I go online and I look up these equations. They're like, oh, they just split it here, make this. You got an isosceles triangle. We know that this angle and this angle. I didn't fucking know that. No, I didn't. I didn't learn that one.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there. I'm like, geez, I know. I looked at this equation in 10th grade, and it still makes just as much sense as it did then.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not an idiot. I can fucking add numbers. I can add 10,000 plus 9,000, but when it comes to, like I said, the intricate shit with measurements, learning decimals and stuff like that, dude, like transferring decimals to fractions, like in inches and stuff, that's a whole other language, learning all that and things like that. But like anything, the more you do it, the more you like it, I guess.
Yeah. There is a beauty in understanding that stuff, you know. And even with real estate, there's so much math that's involved in that, dude. Interest rates, LTV, you know, your LOI, which is your letter of intent, how you could use that to make the best possible deal. And like, there's just so many nuances in how you could use interest rates along with your refinance after you renovate the property, and how much of that is equity, and you could utilize that into your next Dude, there's just so much that people that know the most about math could really fuck shit up if they use it correctly. But if you don't, you could still do it. You know, it's just there's a little bit of a learning curve.
Yeah.
So it's super important that you're somewhat level-headed when it comes to that stuff, and you're able to kind of understand it, and it's a skill. So
how much of that have you taught yourself?
How much of that have I taught myself?
How much of it did you bring with you from learning it in school compared to how much you had to teach yourself in the field.
Well, percentages are pretty easy, but the principles of utilizing like refinances and the interest rates along with how much your 30-year, 20-year AM would be, that stuff that you have to, it's all simple math, but being able to tie it together with real estate, with simple math to figure out, what your outcome's going to be, that takes a little bit of mentoring. That takes a little bit of like trial and error. You got to really figure that shit out. But the math itself is very easy. Like, you probably do more math. You do more difficult equations, what you do, than what I do. My shit's very simple. It's like percentages and interest.
Yeah.
And like, that's pretty much most of it, dude. You know what I mean? And like, just, it's all like addition, division.
Yeah.
It's not like anything extreme.
Just so everybody knows, you can run a construction business, an excavation business, concrete business with a 10th grade math level.
Boom, dude. That's you.
Walking evidence.
Yeah, a couple more things you need to know besides that, but yeah.
Yeah. Dude, all you got to know, figure out yardage, figure out tonnage, how much blacktop you need, and there's apps for all of it. So you're covered.
Yeah. Nowadays, dude, it's kind of simple to figure that stuff out now. If you're in a bind, you could always kind of figure it out via app or YouTube or something like that.
Dude, I like when I'm able to be... The one cool thing for me is equations, all that shit was... I could do addition, division, multiplication, all that. When you started throwing fucking letters in there and x plus y parentheses minus this, divide that, like, that shit all got confusing to me. But now, like, learning the equations for, like, yardage, tonnage, all that stuff... it feels pretty cool to be like, oh yeah, hang on, let me just figure out the yardage for you and stuff. Like, yeah, I know there's people that are probably like, this guy's a fucking idiot. Like, that stuff I learned way back then. But yeah, like I guess in the field, on the job, learning of how to do all that stuff, it gives you a sense of like confidence.
Yeah.
And then being right, like when you order the right amount, you're like, fucking yes,
yeah, dude.
Like, yeah, I knew I should have not ordered that half yard of concrete extra because I was spot on with my grading, and look, it worked out.
Yep. The guy in the concrete truck's happy. He gets to take less home, and it is what it is. Great. Let's tie it up. Let's finish it up. We're done.
Yeah, those are definitely math equations you don't want to fuck up.
But yeah, man, it's just really to kind of tie this up here. The best thing to do is really write a good mission statement out. Really figure out what you're pursuing and figure it out in detail.
Yeah.
You have to know much about yourself in order to know what you want to do. And then find a vehicle that is able to do that for you, that you could do in the best of your own ability.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be. If it is real estate, if it's doing a specific business, whatever that business is, as long as it's lucrative, of course. Figure out a vehicle to get from point A to point B, and then there's many, many obstacles that are along the way, but in a very broad way of speaking, a vehicle and a goal is the best way to begin pursuing what's meaningful. And that's that's the basics of it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I would say, reaching your goal when you are picking your vessel or your vehicle, you know what I mean? I feel like an interesting crossroads that people are going to come to, and this is kind of where I made my decision to do what I do. You're either going to look at it where I'm going to do something for a short amount of time and make a lot of money, and I might not like it as much, or I'm going to drag that out a little bit and maybe go with something that I like doing a little bit more and give myself an easier time getting to my goal. And that I feel is like, that's dealer's choice, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's definitely quick ways to make money that aren't always fun or nice or the best for your health or whatever, however you'd want to phrase it. And then there's ways where you can drag it out and enjoy whatever you want from life, working towards that. You know what I mean? I said what I had to say.
Yeah.
Don't fucking grow me like that.
No, that's a good point, dude. That's a good point. You know, there's two different ways of getting into it. Either fast and quick, hurting your body and doing it sometimes illegal, sometimes legal, but or doing it something in a way that you truly enjoy what you're doing, spanning it out over a long period of time, enjoying your life as you do it, and then getting to that goal. Which I like to do the latter, you know, to figure out something that you truly enjoy, because then you're not excruciating your body, and you're not killing yourself, and you're not hating your life every time you're trying to pursue your goal. You know, do something that you enjoy doing, do something that you like to do, and if you do that long enough, you're gonna like what you're doing, and then you're gonna get to a point that you are happy with your life. And as you get older and as time goes by, you're going to realize that sometimes those goals change, you know, and your priorities change, and that's life.
Yeah.
But the whole point is to continuously strive for something that's greater than your current situation. The moment you become stagnant is the moment your life ends, dude. Always consider yourself going uphill, never just a downhill cruise, dude. You know, always push yourself to keep moving forward and to keep digging deep, you know. That's the most important part. Keep digging, and don't stop because you're tired. Only stop when you're done, you know.
There you go. Only stop when you're done.
Yep.
Tired, don't care.
Yep. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to the Dig Deep podcast. I appreciate everyone that's listening so far, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
See ya.